guys, HierarchyGFX here. So today I've got a tutorial for you guys. Basically it's a tutorial on how to make a video border like you see here. This is just a kind of a idea or just an easy little thing to do. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer. And what you want to do is go and create file, new, and for whatever your width and height, it's going to depend on what you usually do for your videos. If you do 720p HD, then you're going to go 1280 by 720. If you do 1080p HD, such as myself, you're going to go 1920 by 1080. Anyway, I already have one set, so I'm not actually going to press OK, but you're going to press OK. Anyway, what you want to do is, the main idea behind any border around your video, whether it's for your logo or whatever, you need to remember every time you save it, you need to make sure you have no background. Like, for example, see, this is counting as a background. It may not look like anything, but it is there. If you save it, and it doesn't matter what you save it as, it's going to save it like this. You're not going to be able to remove this background unless you're in Photoshop. And it's really easy to remove. All you have to do is see this little eye. You just click that. You have to have another layer in order to uncheck that eye, though. So if once you uncheck, you'll notice that it's like a checkerboard type look to it, and that way you know that wherever that checkerboard is, that's where the transparency area is. It's going to be completely transparent. The idea here is you want your border to be seen, but you also want to see your video. Without your video in there, it would just well, it just wouldn't look right. And borders add a lot of character to one's video. So let's get started. So you're gonna make a new layer. For now, I'm gonna keep the background there so I can see what I'm doing. So first thing we'll do is maybe take your rectangle tool and select a pretty dark dark gray around here, and then use the code 2D if you want to use the exact color I am, and then press OK, and then select your rectangle tool and then just kind of drag it to a desired size. I wouldn't suggest going past around right here. I'm going to go a little bit lower. Just use your judgment, your best judgment, and see where it takes you. So now you have that. If you want, you can just stick with this. I do like this look. It's very simple and it's clean, and you have most of the video you can see. But another thing that I like to add, depending on how you feel about it, you can add little sidebars as well. Maybe make them a little bit smaller, and then take that and Control J on that layer, move it over to the right. So try to make it as symmetrical as possible. Just kind of eyeball it, and you'll probably find something pretty close. Move this to the left twice, and I'll move this to the right twice. So you kind of want them extruding a little bit because there's a little bit of an effect you want to put on these. Actually, disregard that. Keep just this one so that we can just reflect it on the other side once we're done editing this one. So you'll notice in the other one I had some kind of indentation here, a kind of cut off area. So it's really easy to do. All you have to do is take your pen tool, click at the top, hold shift, and then click down to about right here, and then click sort of a diagonal, depends on your personal preference. I'm going to do it right about there. And then hold shift again, go down again, and then do the same thing but opposite to this, and then diagonal like that. And then you're just going to go around. Make sure you stay away from either of these and connect your points. Right click, make selection, make sure your feather radius is at 0, anti-aliased, and new selection, and press OK. Make sure your layer is the same layer is still selected, which it should be, and then just click delete or press delete. And it's as simple as that. You now have that little indentation there. And if you want, you could add more indentation above it, you know, like right here if you wanted to. It's all personal preference. As you can see, it's fairly easy, so I'm sure you can do that on your own. So basically what you want to do with this layer is duplicate it, so Control J on that layer. You're going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. So you're just basically going to mirror it over. Just pull it over that side, and like I said, like last time, just kind of eyeball it. You'll probably find something that works. I'd say around there works. Now, we have our general shape here. It's looking alright, but I'm noticing that the middle's kind of boring, so I think that we should do a indentation thing as well as what we're doing here. So we'll do a similar technique there, except here we're going to go about, we're going to make it a little bit smaller because I noticed mine is a little too big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go across like this, and do the diagonal, up like that, and that's actually about it. And then just go back around, connect it, make selection, press OK, and delete. Now you notice how are you going to get this done? You might be thinking, there's no way, now I'm stuck. Well, a really easy fix to this, rather than going back into it and making another selection, trying to make it, I'm sure there's another way to do it, but this is my way, and it works fairly well for pretty much any situation, is you just take it like this, and you delete as much as you can, depending on the size. Try and just get it in half as much as you can, and just select your elliptical marquee tool, or your rectangular marquee, sorry, and then just cut it in half. And once you have it selected, all you have to do is press delete. So once you've done that, I'm just going to duplicate that layer that you now have left and flip it horizontally. So you're basically just mirroring it over, scoot it over so it fits somewhat, and then boom, there you go. You got a general shape going on right there. And you know, you might notice that this is a little bit out of center, so if you really want to, you could, you know, actually select the right tool so it does what you want. And to move it, just use your arrow keys to move it precisely, and move it to the left or right depending on where yours got stuck, until you find a general area that works. Say right about there. Now, for some people, depending on how big you made your rectangle, you may have some leftover spaces here. You shouldn't, seeing as these should all be the same color right now. But if you do, just use your same color and fill it back up with the rectangle tool, and just, you know, kind of fill it up like that. I don't need to, because yeah. So now you have that done. You have your general video border. It's that easy. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can go ahead and select the very top layer, and then hold Shift and select the very last layer, not including the background. And now you'll notice they're all highlighted. Now that they're all highlighted, what you want to do is right click, convert to smart object. So now it's all one layer, which is going to make things, editing wise, going to make things a lot easier. And be sure to rasterize that layer as well. So now you're done with the hardest part. Now all you have to do is add some